Cooking for Health, a community cooking class brought to you by First Choice Community Healthcare, Agricultura Cooperative Network, La Cosecha, and other valued community partners. Welcome back to Cooking for Health. This is episode 4 of our second series, and joining us today is Chef Rosa Zamora with a plant-based chorizo.
Okay, we're going to make a plant-based chorizo recipe. I know I've made a chorizo recipe before, but this one is going to be made out of garbanzo beans. So you just take 1 can of garbanzo beans, strained and rinsed, or you can also cook your own garbanzo beans. It's about 1.5 cups. You're just going to start by smashing them up and just breaking up a little bit. You can do this with a potato masher. You can slice them with a knife, or you can just put them in a food processor, whatever works for you. And this is going to be, we're just going to be putting all the traditional chorizo spices in it, just to make something very similar. It's going to have less salt and less oil than a traditional chorizo. So in addition to being made out of beans, it's just going to be a lot healthier. Going to make sure those are all broken up. You don't have to get them super fine. You just want to make sure there's no whole beans floating around in there. And then we're going to add all of our spices. We have 2 tablespoons of chili powder here. You can use any kind of chili powder you want. I'm using a medium New Mexican red chili. If you want it to be spicier, you can use a spicier powder. We have 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. This is going to give it a really nice umami flavor, as well as adding a lot of B vitamins. We have 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika. Make sure it is smoked to give that nice smoky flavor. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Then we're going to add just a tiny bit of cinnamon and cloves, 1/8 teaspoon each. And then we're going to finish with 1 teaspoon of salt. If you're watching your salt, you can start with a 1/2 teaspoon and go from there. You can also, if you're worried about salt intake, make sure you get the reduced sodium canned garbanzo beans or cook them yourself so you don't add any salt. Now we're just going to mix in the spices until everything's coated nicely in our spice mixture. And then we're going to add 3/8 of a cup of just white vinegar to get that nice tang that we associate with chorizo. So 1, 2, 3/8 of a cup. We're also going to add 1/8 of a cup of oil. If you're watching your oil, you don't have to add any oil this step, and you can just add a little bit to the pan. But I think that this helps it taste authentic, and this is only in reality about 2 tablespoons, so it's not a ton. I'm using grapeseed oil. You want to use any sort of neutral flavored oil in this. Avocado oil, canola, anything that you have will work. And you're just going to mix this all together. Make sure that everything's evenly coated. And that's it. That is going to be your garbanzo bean chorizo, and then you can just fry it up in a pan and use it any place you would use your normal chorizo instead. And you're going to get a lot more fiber there, and it's more heart healthy. Thank you.
We hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Please don't forget to subscribe and join us next week for our final legume recipe with Fallon Bader of the Sprouting Kitchen. Thank you for watching. Tune in for the next fun and healthy recipe from Cooking for Health.